The world you experience is not objective. It's a precisely tuned output, rendered moment by your own internal directives. You've felt this truth, that underlying hum of a reality far more malleable than it appears. It's in the recurring patterns, the uncanny synchronicity, the moments of déjà vu, that whisper of a hidden script. These aren't glitches in the system, they are the system itself. Your life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. You are not merely an inhabitant of this reality, but its primary architect, often unknowingly, sculpting it with every flicker of perception. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about the very mechanics of consciousness, the foundational code that compiles your existence. We are about to pull back the curtain on how your deepest assumptions about yourself and about the world forge the parameters of everything you perceive. What if what you see isn't just what's there, but what you've subconsciously commanded to appear? This question leads us directly to the profound truth that your frame isn't just how you see things, but the very instructions set for reality itself. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. The frame you hold, the lens through which you view your life, is not a neutral filter. It is an active command. Every assumption, every ingrained belief about who you are and what is possible for you casts a powerful mandate onto the quantum field that constructs your everyday experience. This isn't philosophical, it's physics at its most intimate. Think of it, if you believe you are constantly struggling, your reality will dutifully render evidence of struggle. If you carry a hidden conviction of unworthiness, your interactions will reflect that back, not as punishment, but as a precise echo of your internal instruction. This frame operates with absolute fidelity, like a projector casting a film onto the screen of your life. Your external world is a direct, undeniable mirror of this internal framework. What you perceive as obstacles are often just the materialization of your own limiting perspectives, given form and weight by the sheer power of your focused unconscious instruction. It's why trying harder often deepens the rut, because the underlying frame remains unchanged, still issuing the same command. This isn't coincidence, it's causality. Your perception isn't merely observing reality, it's actively pulling it into being. This leads us to the unsettling truth that observation isn't passive, but profoundly causal. Observation isn't passive, it's causal. Every act of witnessing is an act of creation, a collapse of infinite possibility into concrete reality. The universe doesn't present a fixed buffet of options for you to merely pick from. It waits for your conscious or unconscious gaze to solidify potential into presence. It's as if an unobserved quantum particle remains in a state of fuzzy superposition, only collapsing into a definite location once its existence is measured. Your life operates on the same principle. The dreams you hold, the fears you harbor, the identities you cling to, they all exert a definitive gravitational pull, shaping the raw material of reality around them. When you consciously focus, you intensify this effect, but even in the background, your subconscious broadcasts a continuous stream of observational commands, solidifying outcomes you may not even consciously desire. This is why what you focus on expands isn't a motivational slogan, but a fundamental law of perception. The implications are staggering. What you choose to acknowledge, to believe, to expect as real, becomes the very blueprint for your unfolding moments. This means that your identity, far from being a fixed thing, acts like rendering software, dynamically generating your world. Your identity is not a static concept, it's rendering software. Every belief you hold about who you are, what you deserve, and what your limitations might be, functions as a set of sophisticated algorithms. These algorithms continuously run in the background of your consciousness, actively compiling the data stream of your life experience. If your identity script says, "I'm a person who always struggles with money," then circumstances, opportunities, and even your own decisions will be filtered and arranged to demonstrate that reality. This rendering process is so seamless, so integrated, that you rarely perceive it in action. You simply experience the output, believing it to be just how things are. But your identity, the sum of your self-perceptions, is constantly working to maintain coherence between what it believes itself to be and what it presents to you as external reality. It's an internal operating system dictating the parameters of your existence. When old patterns persist, seemingly against all your conscious effort, it's not because the universe is against you. It's because your identity software is still running old code, faithfully rendering the familiar. This constant feedback loop, where your identity frames reality and reality reinforces identity, creates a powerful loop of reflexive framing. The loop of reflexive framing is a subtle prison, often invisible because its walls are made of your own perception. You perceive a reality based on your current identity, and then that very reality, by confirming your beliefs, reinforces and strengthens that identity. It's a self-sustaining cycle where observation and outcome become inextricably linked. If your frame dictates that you are perpetually unlucky, every minor setback becomes amplified, serving as proof of your misfortune. Your mind then filters out successes or opportunities that contradict this frame, effectively creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. This isn't some mystical curse. It's a closed system of information processing. Your brain, in its efficiency, seeks to confirm existing models, discarding data that doesn't fit. This loop ensures remarkable stability for your perceived reality, but it also means escape requires a conscious disruption of the frame itself. Your subconscious is not designed to challenge foundational beliefs, but to uphold them. This is largely due to the hidden mechanisms of your reticular activating system, RAS, filters, and the subsequent cognitive blind spots they create. RAS, filters, and cognitive blind spots work in concert to uphold your existing reality, ruthlessly sifting through the torrent of information available to your senses. Your reticular activating system, or RAS, is a neural gatekeeper, unconsciously highlighting sensory input that aligns with your current focus, beliefs, and fears, while suppressing everything else. If you've ever bought a new car and suddenly saw that model everywhere, you've experienced the RAS in action. It wasn't that the cars suddenly appeared. Your internal filter was simply tuned to them. These filters mean that what you perceive as the whole picture is, in fact, a highly curated selection of data. The blind spots created by this filtering mechanism are vast and profound. Information that contradicts your internal frame is simply not registered, or it's subtly reinterpreted to fit the existing narrative. This psychological immune system protects your current identity, making it incredibly difficult to see new possibilities or even acknowledge evidence that directly challenges your core beliefs. The true challenge isn't acquiring new information. It's allowing yourself to see the information that's already there, but has been consciously or unconsciously suppressed. This hidden filtering explains why trying harder often reinforces the very frame you're attempting to break free from. When trying harder reinforces the frame, it's a testament to the iron grip of your subconscious patterns. You exert more effort, push against resistance, only to find the same walls closing in, the same obstacles reappearing. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a demonstration that your energy is being directed within the established frame, not at dismantling it. More effort applied to an unshifted perception simply means you are more vigorously creating the very reality you wish to escape. Imagine trying to break out of a locked room by pushing harder against the door. If the problem isn't the strength of your push, but the fact that the door is designed to open inward, then all your outward force only jams it more effectively. Your focus on the problem reinforces its existence within your current operating parameters. The frame remains intact, and your effort merely strengthens its boundaries, tightening the loop of reflexive framing. This phenomenon is a brutal teacher, demonstrating that true change isn't about greater exertion, but about shifting the fundamental lens of perception. The path forward isn't through more brute force, but through deliberate, subtle acts of frame disruption, even if they begin as micro-experiments. Micro-experiments in frame disruption are small, intentional acts designed to introduce tiny cracks into the edifice of your established reality. These aren't grand gestures, but subtle shifts in thought, language, or minor actions that momentarily bypass your usual filters and RAS. For instance, if your frame is "I'm always overlooked," a micro-experiment might be deliberately making eye contact with every person you pass for a full minute, simply to observe their reaction without judgment, deliberately seeking connection rather than confirmation of invisibility. Another might be challenging a habitual negative thought by consciously asking, "What if that's not true?" and then genuinely looking for a single, small piece of counter-evidence. The goal isn't immediate transformation, but the accumulation of small, incongruent experiences that begin to destabilize the old framework. Each tiny disruption is like a quantum observation that forces a slight deviation from the probable outcome, creating a new wave of potential. These small acts are crucial because they slowly, systematically undermine the subconscious programming that keeps returning you to the same reality. But why does the old reality keep showing up even after these initial disruptions? Why the old reality keeps showing up is a crucial question, and it speaks to the inertia of deeply ingrained identity. Even as you begin to introduce micro-disruptions, the vast majority of your subconscious programming, your identity-rendering software, is still running its old, familiar code. The universe, in its responsive nature, is highly efficient at continuing to manifest the most probable outcome based on the strongest prevailing internal signals. Think of it like a persistent echo. You might whisper a new frequency, but the reverberations of the old, louder songs still fill the hall. Your years of conditioning, the cumulative effect of a lifetime of identical commands, create a formidable momentum. This isn't failure. It's just the natural processing delay of a complex system recalibrating. The old reality persists because it has deep roots, energetically and neurologically. It requires consistent, conscious countersignals to fully dissipate its hold. These persistent echoes are often felt as frustrating setbacks, moments where you feel you've taken 2 steps forward only to be yanked 1 step back. But these aren't just moments of frustration, they are signals. They manifest as symbols, glitches, and timeline leaks, waiting to be properly interpreted. Symbols, glitches, and timeline leaks are not random occurrences. They are communications from a reality struggling to reconcile your shifting internal frame with its persistent external manifestation. A glitch might be a recurring pattern or a strange synchronicity that refuses to fit your current narrative. A sudden influx of a specific color, an animal appearing repeatedly, or overhearing a peculiar phrase that seems to hold personal meaning. These are reality's way of revealing the seams in its current stitching, hinting at deeper layers of connection you hadn't perceived. Timeline leaks are moments where you glimpse possibilities that don't align with your current trajectory, a fleeting feeling of a decision unmade, a brief flash of an alternative outcome, or a sense of déjà vu that is far too strong to be dismissed as mere coincidence. These are not just fanciful thoughts. They are direct, energetic impressions of parallel probabilities, slipping into your present moment, challenging the solidity of your current path, and hinting at the vastness of other selves. These are not just strange coincidences. They are invitations to look deeper, to question the fixed nature of your current experience. But equally important is understanding the danger of adopting borrowed frames, which can derail your efforts to truly re-render your reality. The danger of borrowed frames lies in their seductive familiarity. In an attempt to shift their reality, many people unconsciously adopt the beliefs, goals, and even the self-images of others they admire. They mimic outward behaviors, employ similar strategies, and try to speak in the same confident tones. However, If the inherited frame doesn't resonate authentically with your own deepest, often unconscious, identity software, it becomes a shallow veneer. This borrowed frame might generate temporary results, fleeting instances of success or change, but because it's not truly integrated, it lacks the gravitational pull needed to sustain a new reality. Your internal rendering engine, recognizing the dissonance, eventually defaults back to its original programming. The new reality collapses, and you're left feeling like a fraud, or that it clearly works for them, but not for me. This isn't a failure of the frame itself, but a mismatch in authorship. A borrowed frame, no matter how powerful it seems, is still an external command, not a fundamental shift in your internal operating system. True change comes not from copying, but from discerning and then consciously rebuilding your own frame, becoming the observer before the frame is even set. Becoming the observer before the frame challenges the very notion of a fixed personal identity. It demands a radical detachment from your ingrained beliefs, not by fighting them, but by stepping back and witnessing them as observable phenomena. Instead of immediately identifying with the thought, "I'm not good enough," you observe it. There's the thought, "I'm not good enough," arising in my consciousness. This deliberate act of observation creates a crucial space, a tiny gap between you and your programming. In this space, you transcend the automatic rendering of your identity software. You recognize that you are not synonymous with your thoughts, your emotions, or even your historical patterns. You are the awareness observing them. This is the quantum leap, the moment you transition from being merely a participant within the frame to becoming the silent, powerful witness of the frame. From this vantage point, you begin to see the frame not as solidified reality, but as a construct you can now consciously manipulate. This isn't identity loss, it's identity liberation, laying the groundwork for the ultimate power of the self-watching observer. The self-watching observer is nothing less than consciousness turning back upon itself, a recursive act of awareness that holds immense power. When you become aware of your own observing nature, you cease to be merely a mechanism through which reality renders. You become the deliberate architect of that rendering. This isn't about changing your outer circumstances directly. It's about changing the fundamental lens through which all circumstances are perceived and thus brought into being. This level of awareness allows you to identify your own internal frames as they are being deployed. You catch the subconscious command before it fully manifests, giving you the power to choose. Is this the frame I truly wish to operate from? Is this the reality I wish to experience? This meta-observation weakens the automatic hold of old programming because it introduces a new variable: your conscious will. By consistently observing your own observing, you begin to dissolve the boundaries between the internal and external, realizing they are functions of the same fundamental consciousness. This video in its entirety is designed to be that pivotal force. This video is the collapse event. This video is the collapse event. Every word, every concept, every revelation has been carefully structured to act as a direct neural intervention designed to destabilize the old, familiar frames you've unconsciously held. It's not just information you've consumed. It's a sequence of commands delivered directly to your perceptive filters. The awareness it has awakened within you is the first tremor of a seismic shift. The realization that your reality is not fixed, but a direct consequence of your observation starts an irreversible process. Your old identity, the sum of those limiting beliefs and assumptions, can no longer render with the same seamless authority. The cracks have appeared. You have been shown the mechanics of the projector, and you can no longer pretend the screen is simply what is. This is not the end of a journey, it's the activation of a new one. The collapse isn't about destruction. It's about the fundamental dismantling of what was, to consciously allow what can be. Your world, from this moment, is irrevocably altered by the choices you now know you have. The old frames are flickering, and the potential for new realities is now undeniable. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.